Day one of training camp in the books. Feels good to have a little bit of football back. What is up, Finn fans? I have a lot to talk about today, so no farting around or anything like that. We got to jump into it. I got pressers from Mike McDaniel. I got on the field stuff. I got pressers from players. I'm farting around. Told you I wouldn't fart around, and I'm farting around. So first off, got it. Big news. Boom. The Miami Dolphins have announced when they're wearing their throwbacks. Seems like they are wearing their white throwbacks on October 29th, home against the New England Patriots, and they're wearing their aqua throwbacks on Christmas Eve against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of wish they were wearing their throwbacks against New England in New England when they were wearing their throwbacks on Sunday night, and on Monday Night Football against the Titans, I think, when they're wearing their throwbacks. I think that's the same day they're wearing their throwbacks. But the one having the throwbacks on Christmas Eve is perfect. And then obviously you wear your throwbacks when you're facing New England. You gotta beat their butts. There's that. Now we're going to get into some press conference stuff. Obviously starting with Mike McDaniel. It is known that the team was wearing FM t-shirts on the field. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Love it. Also, Cameron Wolf said that Dolphins defenders believe they will have a top 10, if not top 5 defense in 2023. Two main reasons why Vic Fangio's scheme changed, particular to help DBs, and the arrival of top corner Jalen Ramsey. From your lips to God's ears, defenders. Because if our offense can stay top 4, again, a big portion of that had to do with the pass game, and our defense can get to top 5, top 10. What? So now let's get to what Mike McDaniel had to say. So he said he expects guys on the physically unable to perform list to be back in order from soonest to latest. He said Teron Armstead, Isaiah Wynn, Nick Needham, and Tanner Connor. McDaniel said Teron Armstead had some cleanup work done on his knee, and that's why he's starting on the physically unable to perform list. So again, he'll probably be off sooner rather than later. Isaiah Wynn unfortunately hurt himself training to get ready for the season. But again, like he said, in the order of going to be off the list, Armstead, Wynn, Needham, Connor. Needham obviously had his injury, and Tanner Connor had his injury. But if Tanner Connor wants to make this roster, he's got to get healthy. He's absolutely got to get healthy there. He says, we have some competition that I would be a fool if I tried to crown someone X, Y, and Z. It's an opportunity gain, some momentum for each guys. He wants to get a little more clarity with the O-line, and Armstead and Wynn absence will allow that. So essentially, you'll probably see a good competition for backup tackle, a good competition for left guard, and then obviously we know who the center, right guard, and we know who the right tackle is going to be. Mike McDaniel tries to sympathize with the human part of the business of football when dealing with contracts. He's really pumped to have Connor Williams back. Mike McDaniel said he approached the Connor Williams situation with empathy towards what he is feeling. The whole time I had lost zero relationship with him at all. I feel really good about working with him. Pumped to have him here. Essentially, he said Greer's the bad guy, I'm the good guy. So Greer, the way a head coach GM relationship works is the head coach is like, look, I want this guy, I want that guy, I want this guy. And the GM says, all right, I'll go and try and make it happen. And then he goes out and he tries to make it happen. He comes back, look, this guy wants this, this, and that. We're going to be... That's how it works. Hey, can you do me a favor? It's like Instacarting stuff, if you know what Instacart is. And then they come back and tell you, oh, they don't have those, roles that you want. Can I get you something else? And you're like, yeah, what else do they got? It's essentially what the relationship is. McDaniel in year 2 as a head coach, there's confidence that comes with knowing what to expect. And that's a big thing. That's a very big thing because, first year head coach going into this, he had struggles at time. Management, he had struggles with challenges. He had struggles with getting the plays out. Now he kind of knows, right? He says, although losing 5 games in a row is difficult, There's nowhere to hide in that process. For the players that were here last year, were closer because of it. They built that bond, right? They know that feeling, and they don't want to feel it again. McDaniel asked about his adversity, his opportunity, saying, reflects for the first time at the podium about alcoholism and when he became sober years ago. That time helped shape his view of what opportunity is. Says he came out of it completely better as a person, and good for him. Good for him getting through that hard time in his life. Good for him. Mike McDaniel compared Tua's experience in a new offense last season to speaking a foreign language, which we heard not only from Tua, but we also heard that from Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady said during 2020 when he was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it was like they were speaking Spanish to him. He praised the quarterback for his command of the scheme in year 2. When you're learning a foreign language, you have to translate in your head, and then at some point in time, if you're fluent enough, you think in terms of that language. Tua has literally spoken a foreign language and doing it at a high level. And that's something that Tyreek Hill kind of touched upon on his podcast, how being in that second year in this offense, Tua is already even more proficient than he was. Because again, if you remember last year during the Ravens game, there was communication error with the headsets to Tua, and there was times that the plays weren't getting to him quick enough and the play clock was going down. Tua was improvising. He knew the playbook. He was calling plays. He was telling people where to go. Now he's in that second year, more comfortable. There was many times we asked Tua to do as a Frost last year, and to his credit, he was able to do a lot of cool things. He had a tremendous off season. In situations, this is about Tyreek Hill now. He kind of touches upon the Tyreek Hill situation. He says in situations like that, everyone is disappointed in what we're talking about. When you are in charge of making decisions, you reserve as much judgment as possible till all information is collected. The league is still looking into it. So again, he settled that situation with the guy, but the league is still kind of looking into it. So we'll keep you updated on that. He talks about Tua Tagovailoa being in the top 100. He says it means a lot, and it means nothing. Respect among your peers is a big deal. If you're on that list, you don't suck. What does he mean by it means a lot and it means nothing? Anytime your player changes, all your scheme should change, Mike McDaniel said. Last year, you're putting forth scheme, not totally knowing what your players do best. The offseason, you construct it more and tailor it to your players because you know what they do best. And I'm glad he talked about that, because a lot of people I've heard, not only in the comment section but on Twitter, have said, oh, the defenses have figured out the Dolphins offense, so it's going to be hard for them to do this, and that. Do people really think they're going to run out the same exact scheme? Like there's offensive players that are on different teams now that will know the play call and know the verbiage. So obviously, especially like what Mike McDaniel just said, you're going to retool it because now you have a more understanding of your players. So it's not going to be the same offense. When talking about, the matchup that we're going to see with Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill versus Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard, he says, have you seen their collective paychecks? My interest is high. He says talented players who want to be great, who are willing to do the work. Mike McDaniel subscribing. Hit the subscribe button. The top 2 wide receivers and corners. And that's what he had to talk about. Now, a lot of people are making a hoopla out of this, which essentially is the sleeve of Tua Tagovailoa. Now, I think it's awesome. I love his sleeve. I have a sleeve myself, if you guys don't know. And again, I'm wearing a hoodie because I have the central air on, and my office is right next to the central air. So it might be 95 degrees outside today, which it is, but it's like 60 down here. But I love the sleeve. And it makes sense why he was wearing a hoodie through OTAs and minicamp, because I normally got my sleeve done in the winter. You want to keep your sleeve out of the sun. Like, you don't want the sun hitting a fresh tattoo. It'll mess it up. So, makes sense, and I think his sleeve looks awesome. Plain and simple. So now we're going to get to some on-the-field stuff, which we got a lot there. So this is from Barry Jackson. Nope, sorry. This is from Barry Jackson and Daniel Awusuf. I feel bad butchering his name. Awufusi? Barry and Danny. Tua Tagovailoa accuracy was sharp. He completed a 40-yarder to Jalen Waddle, which I have video of that, who twisted his body and leaped for the acrobatic catch over Javon Holland. Waddle bobbled the ball briefly before coming down with it. Like I said, I have that. Tua Tagovailoa threw only 3 incomplete passes all day and more than a dozen passing attempts. So he only threw 3 incompletions today. That's good. That's really good. Tua completed all 4 of his throws in the initial 7-on-7 work practice, including a 15-yard dart to Jalen Waddle. And Tua threw a nice sideline pass to Tyreek Hill to begin 11-on-11 work, but Xavier Howard seemed to nudge Hill, preventing him from making the catch. A penalty wasn't called. That was Tua Tagovailoa's only incompletion for his first 10 or so throws in 7-on-7 or 11-on-11 works. His second incomplete pass was a throw on a blitz by multiple defenders. His third and final incomplete pass was a deflection by Zach Sealer, who's back after skipping OTAs with the hope of landing a new contract. Yeah, all the guys are back. There was no holdouts for the Miami Dolphins, which is really good. Drops were a problem early today. Hill dropped a nifty sideline pass from Skylar Thompson and punted the ball in disgust, which, good. You should be upset you're dropping passes, because we all saw what happened in Buffalo in the playoffs with Skylar Thompson. There's a few drops that should have been caught. Waddle dropped a Thompson pass that could have been thrown a bit better. Now, here's my question. Is it the throws or is it the drops? Because why aren't they dropping Tua's passes, but they're dropping Skylar's passes? Now, this isn't me trying to pick a fight, but this is me just curious, because that's a problem. Rookie undrafted tight end Julian Hill dropped a well-thrown pass for Thompson. See, so it's not Thompson. Skylar Thompson seems to have been given a legit chance to compete with Mike White for the number 2 job, even though White was assigned with the belief that he very likely would be Tua's backup. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins that job, especially because he's been in this offense already. Thompson had a bad luck Wednesday, victimized by these drops, and had a good overall day. He completed a dart to Savon Ahmed for 20-yard gain that Ahmed turned into an even bigger play, and Thompson made a great throw to Hill for a 20-yard completion in the middle of the field and another 15-yarder to Hill. So he started getting in that groove. Again, it's the first day of training camp. Thompson also completed a short throw to Devon Achane and Cedric Wilson Jr. White's day was pretty good too. He completed dump-offs to Alec Ingold, Eric Uzukoma, and had a strong throw to Braxton Berrios for a 15-yard gain in the middle of the field and a 13-yard throw to Waddle on the sideline. White's accuracy was off on a throw to Waddle, but that was his only bad throw of the day. So again, maybe minicamp and OTAs with Mike White was a little bit of rust or something, new scheme. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and let's see how he does with the rest of training camp. Everybody was present and participating except the 4 players on the physically unable to perform list, and undrafted rookie edge player Zach Vandenberg, who is on injured reserve. Needham was spotted running on the sideline as he makes his way back from last October's Achilles injury. So just because the guys aren't on the field, like Teron Armstead, Isaiah Wynn, Nick Needham, and Tanner Connor, doesn't mean that they're not in the building and they're not in this facility, because essentially that's what they're getting paid for. When you have, because if you hold out in training camp, some players, they'll lose their checks for a certain amount of days. So you're still there. You're still there. You're just inside working with the trainers, working with the physical therapists and all that stuff. Jalen Phillips limped off. When I read this, my heart dropped. Jalen Phillips limped off after the second 7-on-7 play early in practice and had his leg examined by the trainer, but he returned to practice after 10 minutes. Tomorrow you get off, for the love of God. Players won't be in full practices until full pads, until next week. It's difficult to judge running backs until then. Again, I agree 100%. Running backs, linebackers, defensive line, offensive line. Not till the pads come on. But Achane played his blazing speed by turning the corner and getting to the perimeter on one running play. Ahmed, a perennial training camp star, It's not even late. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. Also showed his usual speed on the long reception and a couple of runs. He was the standout among running backs on Wednesday. Braxton Berrios, Wilson, and River Craycraft worked as returners. Raekwon Davis blew up a Raheem Mostert run for a loss. Undrafted rookie defensive tackle Brandon Peely and linebacker David Long also had a tackle for a loss. Good to hear. Reporters aren't permitted to say who lined up at what position or who's with the first or second team, since we're not addressing that per team policy. But again, when you guys are there on the 30th, they can talk about it because you guys can talk about it. When what we can say is this: the organization holds Kendall Lamb in high regards after he played left tackle very effectively in the January 1st Patriot game before an injury. And general manager Chris Grier has said that Dolphins expect Austin Jackson to be the starting right tackle. There's your answer. It was Kendall Lamb at left tackle, Austin Jackson at right tackle. It was probably Liam Eichenberg at left guard, Connor Williams center, and Robert Hunt at right guard, not right tackle. Rookie corner Cam Smith deflected a pass thrown to Braylon Sanders from Thompson. On the final play of practice, Craycraft caught a pass from White but fumbled after Justin Bethel knocked the ball out. Rookie linebacker Aubrey Miller recovered it. And that's your on-the-field stuff. But if you think that's all I got for you, you are mistaken, because I have the pass that I was talking about from Tua to Jalen Waddle. You know what? I will say this, right? Because I know everyone's going to scrutinize this pass, right? First and foremost, these are what the passes are going to look like, because they don't want the formation and the routes and everything to be shown, especially when you guys aren't there. They're probably playing, practicing plays that are important. But I will say this, right? Because people are going to over scrutinize this. You got to catch that, my man. He's got to get better with catching with his hands, right? But I will say this. Great play by Javon Holland to punch that ball out. And I know a lot of people are going to say, why didn't he lead him more? Why is it underthrown? It's because Elliott was over the top. So if he would have let him more, it probably would have been an interception or punched out. But it is a great play by Jalen Waddle to come back and catch that flipping ball, if you ask me. It's good just to see footballs back. You know what I'm saying? So now, little presser from Tyreek Hill and Tua Tagovailoa. Tyreek Hill on the June incident, he says, I can't be a bonehead like that. Says he is cooperating with the NFL and is not worried about a suspension. Man, if you know something I don't know, please. Tyreek Hill reiterated he wants 2,000 yards. It never crossed my mind I won't hit it. He says Tua is more vocal on the season, probably taking that leadership role more seriously, which why wouldn't he? He's been taking it seriously. Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill said he completely understands the offense now in year 2, unlike last year when he was out there just running routes. The fact that man's just out there running routes is just... Tyreek Hill on earlier retirement concept. Tyreek Hill on early retirement concept. I don't think concept's the word that Joe Shad wanted to use. My dad talked with me and told me you can make all the money in the world, but you don't want to spend your life working. You want to enjoy life. I'm enjoying my life. Also, he kind of touches upon that 2K goal. He says, my first goal is to win a championship here. So again, there are people who are bothered by the fact that he says that his goal is to, 2,000 receiving yards. But again, he said his first goal is to win a championship. So I don't expect him to get upset or bothered if, he doesn't hit that 2,000 receiving yard goal. He wants to win another Super Bowl. He says, I'm feeling great. Obviously, I'm still fast. If I'm traveling the country, who knows? I'm enjoying my life and having fun. Again, kind of talking about the retirement. And then Tua Tagovailoa talks about his sleeve, and he says the tattoo represents my first child, and it has a lot of culture significance in Samoan culture, guidance, and protection. I don't have anything for my daughter in here yet. I got my sleeve finished before she was born, but I think I'm going to add something. I might do another sleeve or maybe a leg sleeve. I don't know yet. After being unhappy about his contract and skipping offseason, Dolphins center Connor Williams says he's focused on football and has a peace of mind. Tyreek Hill asked if he's worried about possible NFL suspension. I already said that. Yeah, and Connor Williams also talked about, like, it's important to him, but it's also important to play football and that he misses his guys and he misses football, so that's why he's there. I think it's a good faith move, and I think it'll probably end up in him getting a contract extension. Tua says if we can all stay healthy this offseason, this offense could do crazy things. We can be dangerous. We have the potential to do something special for the city and for the fans and the team. I love that he made a point to say that they can stay healthy, because it wasn't just Tua being hurt that hurt the team last year. It was all of our corners getting hurt that also hurt the defense. And it was Emmanuel Ogbah getting hurt. That hurt the defense. It was Teron Armstead constantly getting banged up. That hurt the offense. Again, Tua, it was a big impact, but there was a lot more injuries that also took its toll. Tua on year 2 of Mike McDaniel's offense. He says, it's been real good. It's not only good for me, but a lot of the guys that have been here last year getting comfortable with the offense, the logic. We all have the same expectation when we're out there. Overall, it's been a great first day competing. He talks about Justin Herbert and his contract. He says it's really good for the quarterback market. I'm excited. It gets me excited and gets me going. Relax there. I'm just kidding. I asked Tua if wait and see is the best concept on contract extension talks for all involved. Tua said if it is now or later, he wants to earn the contract, which I love that mentality, right? He doesn't want to be given the contract because he was a 5th overall pick, or he doesn't want to be given the contract because of certain aspects of his game. He wants to earn it, which means certain aspects of his game. And to me, for him to earn that contract, stay healthy, win a playoff game, you earn the contract. It's plain and simple. Tua said he hasn't had any talks with the Dolphins about a contract extension outside of them picking up the 5th year option. And that's what I got for you guys today. So overall, I'd say today, I couldn't give you much, obviously, because you guys weren't there, so they can't give you much, like with formations and stuff. So again, and not much video because again, you guys aren't there. So on the 30th, when you guys are there, there'll probably be more stuff for me to give you. And again, if any of you guys send me footage, I can give you more footage there. But hey, football's back. We got some updates. We got some news. We heard about the physically unable to perform list. We know when they're wearing throwbacks. Football's back, guys. Football is back. So comment below. Let me know what you think of day 1 of training camp. What were your takeaways from day 1 of training camp? What were your takeaways from what the guys had to say? And I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't know why I said tomorrow like that. I'll see you guys tomorrow with day 2 of training camp. But like usual, stay classy. My friends up.